Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Chats with Children. I hope you're safe and well. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Terrapin's Francesca Wiggins. Sorry, I nearly forgot her name there. Who is a conference manager, and David Boore, who's the business development manager for the upcoming World EPA Congress, which is running in Amsterdam from the 21st to 23rd. So, first of all, how are you both? You well?
Yes.
Good, thank you.
Very well.
Brilliant. Now, first question for you is for people not familiar with the event. First of all, what does EPA actually stand for? And secondly, how long has the event been running? And finally, who is the target audience for the event, both from a speaker's point of view and from a delegate's point of view?
Sure. So I'll take this. So EPA actually stands for Evidence, Pricing and Access. The event started off as a small event based in London called Pharma Pricing Market Access. That was quite before one of Fran's started the company. And now in its 13th year, after a rebrand and a change of location, it is now the Evidence, Pricing and Access Congress, which is the leading healthcare event for evidence, pricing and access.
Right. And in terms of the delegates and the speakers who are attending, who are those people in the industry who normally attend?
Well, we see people from all over the space within market access. We have over 200 speakers, primarily from pharmaceuticals, from governments and some patient groups. But really anyone who works within the market access space is, the target audience. So even people who work within evidence and data, people from HTAs, people from governments, people who have an interest in getting drugs to the market, any end of that, whether it's creating the evidence early on in the process to the ones who are deciding who it's going to, they're also, involved. So it's quite broad, but yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, what makes it unique, though, to other similar events out there in the marketplace?
Well, there are a lot of events that focus on, different aspects of evidence, pricing and access, market access events, or just pricing and reimbursement events, evidence events. But we're unique because we do bring together all of those topics, which are all so closely related in so many different ways, and they all link together. And so we allow speakers to be able to, bring from other sides of the space, talk about multiple things within one space. We bring together so many different types of people from different industries, people from different backgrounds, who all have different perspectives on the market access and general access space. Which I think is something that not many other events have.
Right. Okay. Now, so obviously, drug pricing, for example, is in the news a lot these days, particularly within the pharma press. When you look at the cost of ATMPs and personalized medicine now out there, and there's some really expensive drugs which are out there. So, have you found, putting the event together, that the focus of the event has changed, or the sort of topics that you're covering has changed from when it first started?
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily. I think obviously there are, always changing things over the past few years. There was a lot of focus on COVID, whereas now we're starting to move away from that. But really, even back, 13 years ago when the event started, there were still issues with pricing problems. It's getting often more difficult and more complicated. We have a whole track dedicated to advanced therapies, so a lot of that advanced therapies talks about, ATMPs tends to go into that track. But there's a reason why this space has existed for so long, and it's because the balance between the amount of money that pharma spends on creating drugs and governments who have to be actually able to get them to patients has always been there, and it's going to continue to be there, and we're just going to have to find new ways to manage that. But the problem is the same, just the money is more, I suppose.
Right. Okay. So in terms of the topics in which you cover, then what are the main tracks that you have at this year's event, and are there any new tracks?
So we have 6 tracks this year. We have a track for evidence, a track for market access and pricing, a track for rare diseases, advanced therapies, big data and digital health, and HTA. HTA is a brand new track. We haven't had a track on HTA before, but we found there's a lot of interest, and so we decided to add that. We also have expanded upon our advanced therapies tracks and our big data and digital health tracks. Last year they shared a track and they had half of the congress each, whereas this year they both have a track full to themselves, because there's, like we were just saying, there's a lot of growth in those spaces and people want to talk about them.
Right. One question for my ignorance, but what does HTA stand for?
Health technology assessment.
Right. Okay, that's cool. David, do you want to add anything to what Fran just said there?
No, I think she covered most of it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Now, in terms of the speakers, I know you have keynote speakers throughout the event and for various tracks. So who are some of the speakers that people can expect to hear from in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, so we have a keynote plenary session on all 3 days of the Congress. We have speakers such as Christoph Glaetzer, who's the Chief Global Value and Access Officer from Johnson & Johnson, Anna Plata, she's Head of Global Pricing at AstraZeneca. We have Jay Iyer, she's the CEO of the Access to Medicine Foundation. Fabienne Bartoli, she's the Director General of the French Authority for Health, so that's the French HTA. Godal van Hasteren, Deputy Chief of the HTA Department at the German Ministry for Health. Sally Chung, VP Head Market Access and Pricing Europe at GSK. So as you can see, it's lots of people from within the pharma space at those very senior levels, both through pharma and government, HTAs and charities like Access to Medicine.
Right. Okay. Now, apart from obviously you have the presentations and tracks going on, and you have an exhibition floor, I know, which you've got some various exhibitors and sponsors. What else are you doing to get delegates to engage and to network at the event?
Sure. So we use an app called Swapcard. So the attendees can engage via the app, and so that's before the conference, during the conference, and the app stays live even up to a month after the conference. So as soon as the app goes live, the attendees can log on, they have their own profile, they can make connections, start booking in meetings and stuff like that. We also have a number of networking breaks that run throughout the Congress, and also the drinks reception that takes place at the end of day one, which is always well received by the attendees.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. And do you do anything in terms of like speed dating and stuff like that, David, at the event?
No, not really. We have an area where swap card meetings can take place. So there'll be tables set up, opposer tables, and they'll be numbered so people can book in meetings there, and then obviously go grab 20 minutes and have a chat.
Fine. Okay. Cool. All right. Fantastic. Now, last question. For those, obviously, hopefully, a lot of people are watching this who are interested in EPA will have already booked their place. But for those people who haven't booked yet, but who might be involved in the area, this is your chance to say why they should, if they haven't already, book a delegate's place at EPA. And if you do book, by the way, viewers, I have a special discount code you can use, which is above the video, so you can use that and save some money. So, but why should people, if they're involved in market access and pricing, attend World EPA Congress in a couple of weeks in Amsterdam?
Sure. I would say, firstly, as this is the biggest EPA event to date, we have some fantastic speakers on the agenda, some new topics that Fran mentioned earlier. The exhibition floor is sold out. We have 52 fantastic sponsors, exhibitors. So yeah, this is the year to be involved, and we're only growing for the future as well. So don't miss out.
Right. Fran, anything to add?
Yeah, I think I'd say the same. We're always growing. We've already got over 1,000 people registered to attend, and if you're not registered to attend, you'll be missing out. And we really hope to see everyone there in a few weeks.
All right. One final question I'm going to ask you, I clearly forgot, was that obviously during COVID, a lot of the events went digital only. Then last year, it was sort of a mixture between hybrid events where you had live and digital. So I know obviously a lot of the content is available with Swapcard to people who are attending during the event. So is it running concurrently as a digital event, or is it only an in-person event? And is the information available on demand to people who register post-event?
So we only run as a live event. Even last year, the first live event after the pandemic,
Sure.
We were very strict on running it live. We didn't want any virtual aspect of the event. So that is the same pattern we've followed for this year, and we will follow moving forward. But in terms of presentations, they can be available after the event. If we have the
permission from the speaker, and the speakers are as long as you've got the permissions from the speaker. I get that, right? Okay, so if you are registered, you can still access the allowable content post event, correct?
In the month following the event, I will be sending the presentations that we have permission to send out will be sent out to every attendee.
Right, fantastic. Because I know
everyone registered, even if for some reason, sometimes obviously things happen. Even if you can't end up attending, if you've registered, you will be sent the
No, that's great, because obviously I know being in person is always the ideal thing, but I also know even in person you may want to attend more than one event, a track, and they may be running concurrently, and you can't see it. And that's the one benefit of digital, is that you can have access to other information even if you can't see one in person. So that's fantastic. Well, look, Fran, Dave, good luck with the build up. I know it's always the most stressful period, the few weeks before leading up to an event, just to make sure everything is right. The speakers obviously are aligned. You've got all the sponsors happy as well, David, of course, and make sure you've got all their branding out there properly, like you promised them. So good luck with all of that. I hope it all goes really well. So there you go, viewers. If you are involved in evidence pricing and access, and you would like to know more about the event because you haven't registered, click on the link above the video. You'll find out more about the event. And as I say, there is a discount code that I've been fortunately given by Terrapin, which you will save some money on the event if you click on that discount code. I think it's 20%, but don't quote me on it. You'll see it in writing above the video, and register there and save some money. So as I said, Fran, Dave, good luck with the build up. I hope it all goes really well. Unfortunately, I won't be there because I will be hopefully in Pennsylvania and New York that week for another show. But I hope it goes really, really well for both of you. You have a fantastic event in person. And viewers, thank you for watching. So find out more about the event if that's of interest to you above the video, and register then. And if you've got any questions actually for Fran or David, put them in the comments below. I'm sure they'll be happy to answer them if you've got any questions as well. So once again, thank you very much, viewers. Thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.